What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. We're on to the Rugby Championship 2024. Team announcements have come out for all the teams going on this weekend. So we're going to have a run through the squad list, see who's some good picks, some bad picks, any changes I might have made along the way, and going over my expectations and some predictions, including a score prediction for the games as well. We're going to bunch it all in to one video. We're going to do all four teams in one video and just start rattling them out rather than you guys having to watch two completely separate videos. Right? Thought it might be fun. We're going to see how it goes. Let me know what you think down in the comments. For anyone looking forward to the Rugby Championship, we also have two lots of the Super Brew going on. We have the Predictor series, where you basically pick a team and how much you think they're going to win by. If you want to get involved with the Predictor series, go onto your Super Brew app, and that is the code you are going to be searching for. And alongside that, someone did let me know they've actually now set up a fantasy really late into the game, but team announcements have only just come out today anyway, so still okay. If you want to join in with the fantasy league, where you're picking out your whole starting 15 players, your bench, a lot more involved, and the one I probably prefer the most out of the two of them, you're going to need this code over here. That's what you're going to need to find the fantasy. You can join in with one, with both, or with none, but it is a lot of fun to get involved with. I thought I'd give that as a bit of a disclaimer, because other people might have missed it along the way. Starting out then with the first game, the Springboks and the Wallabies going up against each other. Starting out with the home team, that is the Wallabies. They went up against Wales in their summer internationals, had some good games. I really think Wales was probably the best team. Australia could have come up against Wales. Really are not in a fantastic place at the minute. Australia have got their new coach. There's a bunch of new players coming in, testing some new stuff out as well. I think Wales is a great warm-up to get involved with some good international teams. Probably hard that their follow-up games after Wales and Georgia is going to be South Africa. That's a big step up. So hopefully these boys can get involved with this game and give the Springboks a good showing, because I think they're going to be coming in as underdogs for this one, certainly going up against the world number ones. But starting out at the front row, we've got Isaac Kyler going in alongside of Fessler, and Alatoa going in that front row. Good, powerful front row. Talia Tupo is being missed off the side. Unfortunately, apparently his father has passed away this week, so he'll be missing out on the squad. So, condolences to him. Hopefully he's going to be back in the squad at some point later in the Rugby Championship, but certainly going to be missing out on this first game. In the log department, Nick Frost comes back in alongside of Salakai Lotto. Now, Nick Frost, we sort of was gone from the summer internationals. I don't actually know what happened to him. They tested out some new names. Nick Frost being back in, I think, is a nice move. I'm glad to be seeing him back in that lineup position where, Springboks, again, they've got big units in that log department, so someone like Nick Frost to come in, try and cause a bit of mischief, always good to see. In the back row, Rob Valentini goes in alongside of Tizano, a new name for me, and Harry Wilson's going to be filling out in that number 8 shirt. Again, another player missing here. Fraser McWright not going to be going in here, normally plays in that 7 shirt. Apparently got a thumb injury. I'm not actually sure what game has caused that. That might have been a club level game that I've missed out on. But apparently he got a thumb injury. He's going to be missing the first 2 weeks of the Rugby Championship. So, good start here for a new flanker to come in. Big game to make your debut against, but hopefully he gets on okay. In the halfback combination, Jake Gordon going in alongside of Noah Lolosio. This is what we got to see across that summer internationals. Jake Gordon, I thought, performed really well. For me, I think he's taken that number nice, but I thought he played really well. I'm glad to be seeing him starting. Lolosio, still in that 10 shirt, to me didn't blow me away in the summer internationals. I really didn't think he was doing too well. Left a lot of points on the board going up against Wales. I think those scoreboards could have looked much better. Wales then went on to play the Queensland Reds, and James O'Connor was playing at fly half in that game and was carving Wales up single-handedly on his own. And I thought, oh man, I don't know if James O'Connor is for some reason just not getting into this squad, or if there's another reason I'm unaware of. If there is, drop it down in the comments. I'd be having James O'Connor here for me ahead of Lolosio, but gets another shot. Big team. South Africa had their own issues, I think, recently in terms of fly half, but Sasha Feinberg coming in now is going to, maybe sort of solve that for them. But they have had their own issues with, kicking towards posts with people like Marnie Libok missing a couple of kicks as well. So looking forward to see the fly half hopefully having a better tour of this one. In the centre partnership, Hunter Paisami going in alongside of Len Ikitau. I'm a big fan of Ikitau. There's a name I might be picking in my fantasy team this week. I've always been a big Len Ikitau fan, so I see him back in. And then in the back three, Daugunu goes in on the 11 shirt, Andrew Kellaway on the right wing, and Tom Wright in that fullback shirt. Now, this was the sort of setup we got to see in that summer internationals as well. Now, I am aware that Coriobetti is back in the team. He could be sliding in. I thought maybe that 11 shirt. He's had some talking points with the Springboks teams in the past. He had a couple of words with Pimpy, if you remember last year's Rugby Championship, as Alan Alatoa did with Eben Etzebeth. They love just discussing hairstyles and stuff really close up to each other. That's what we like to see in rugby, right? So I thought maybe Coriobetti would be looking to get in here. Daugunu had some good work in the summer internationals. Got his try against Wales. Remember Liam Williams keeping that ball in when they sort of kicked it to touch. A bit of a taking the opportunities when they arose. I still don't think was quite at the level from where I perceived someone like Coriobetti to be, but hopefully comes in as a good game. And then quickly in terms of the backs, Josh Nasser goes in alongside James Slipper and Nongor going in as the replacement tight head this week, because of course no Taliela Tupou. Jeremy Williams and Luke Reimer or Reamer, hopefully I'm going to get that pronunciation correct. Brand new name to me off the back of this, so that's what I'll be paying attention to in this game. And then in the replacement backs, Tate McDermott, Tom Liner, and Dylan Pesh, who Tom Liner we didn't really get to see a great deal from in the Australian Summer Tour. So someone hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of going up against the Springboks. Talking to who? Let's move on. We're going to be getting through these 4 teams to go through today. Springboks, who had their Summer Tour against Ireland. I was personally, it's a shame that we didn't get to see the best of 3 because they were the best games of the Summer Tour for me. I thoroughly enjoyed watching them go up against each other. South Africa still got a couple of things to work on. Like I said, that number 10 shirt has been one for competition. Andre Pollard is going to be on the bench for this week. Sasha Feinberg and Gomazula getting his start, I think, could be the future going ahead. I think Marnie Libok probably got some question marks around his name now, because Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu is someone that's doing what Marnie Libok does, but his kicking's better. Kind of been power crept out. We'll see how that gets on. Let's start in the front row. Oxen, Shea, Bongi and Benami and Franz Markherber. Malcolm Marks still being put on the bench after a couple of games where we went up against Ireland, where I was sort of saying he hasn't been at the same level for me. Benami starting, I think is the right move, and it's still a solid front row. Australia in the scrummaging against Wales in the summer internationals looked fine. The driving maul was a concern. Defensive driving maul for Australia. They certainly had a few issues going up against Wales. I think that might be an area South Africa will try and look to take going into this week. In the lock department, Eben Etzebeth goes in alongside of RG Snyman. There's about 14 feet worth of people combined. That's a massive lock department, like I said about Nick Frost in that Australia team coming back in. Going to be some big competition. You've just got to ruin it, especially if the driving maul defensively is not going to look sound for Australia. Being able to stop these guys at the line out is where you want to be, but that's a difficult task, right? Eben Etzebeth and Snyman, big task. In the back row, Sia Khaleesi goes in alongside Peter Steph du Toit, and Elroy Liu goes in the number 8 shirt. So we're mixing up again in that number 8 shirt. There's been some big questions I've seen from a lot of South African supporters who they want to go in that number 8 shirt and swap around. Some people really backing Evan Roos. Some people said shouldn't even be in the team. People have got very, very mixed opinions about that number 8 shirt. We'll see how he gets on. Sia Khaleesi though and Peter Steph du Toit. It's always going to be a big ball-carrying game. In the halfback combination, then, Kobus Reinach goes in alongside of Ngoma Zulu as well. Kobus Reinach, I'm looking forward to see. I have to say, I think Faf de Klerk had a couple of games in that summer tour where I was like, it's a bit slow. Crank on, let's get on with it. There was the one game we had as well with Grant Williams came on, and suddenly the whole dynamic of the game changed as well. Kobus Reinach starting. Bit of excitement, bit of energy. That's what you want to see. Alongside of Ngoma Zulu, who's also going to be looking to be a bit more of a playmaking 10. He's going to run himself and do some other things as well. I like that. Fast ball out to him. Let him make the decision. I think this is a nice partnership to start out for me. Centre partnership. Damien Dialende going in alongside Jesse Creel. Now, Lukhanyo Am, as far as I'm aware, is on the scene. He's around. He can go in. And Lukhanyo Am's one of those players. There's some of them across international rugby where you just go, they are just that step up in their one position. I really thought he might get in. I'm actually kind of glad Jesse Creel is still in, because I think it goes to show his improvement over the last 18 months or so. I really think Jesse Creel plays well. Some people are still really negative about him, and I don't really think it's very warranted at this point in time. I think he's been doing really well, and hopefully that's a reflection of he's been playing so well, he deserves to still be staying at that number 13. If Lukhanyo Am is out, I've had a quick Google, I couldn't see anything. Drop it down in the comments for any other reason, but nice to see that centre partnership. They've worked together very well. And then in the back three, Curtly Arendse goes in, Cheslin Colby on the right-hand wing, and Villiers LaRue, another one that's getting some question marks. Willemse is still not around. That was another one I was talking about. Some people have said he was out for like 6 weeks with an injury, and it's been like 3 months now, and he's sort of not come in. Billy LaRue still playing at that 15. I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention over the course of the Rugby Championship about how this backline is going to be working for South Africa. We know how much they love their forwards and their forward-based game. I'm going to be paying a bit of close attention personally just to seeing how they're going to interact with each other and go around the backs. No Mapimpi, again, Corey Betty, Mapimpi. I want to see those two go up against each other. Maybe for game two. Maybe for game two we get to see that come in. But Aren Sanchez will be taking those wings. And then in the replacements then we have Malcolm Mark, Steenekamp and Vincent Koch going in there as the replacement front row. Still solid front three to be coming on for you. Ben Jason Dixon and Marco van Staden and Quagga Smith coming on in that second half as well. So 6-2 split for them. Ben Jason Dixon was a name that we got thrown around a lot towards the end of their summer tour as well. Was all over the place. So looking forward to them. Maybe some good minutes. I think it might be nice to see. They've got big tests coming up across this Rugby Championship. Maybe you look at getting someone off, 40, 45 minutes and give Ben Jason Dixon a good shot at the game. I think that'd be nice. And then your replacement backs, Grant Williams and Andre Pollard. And again, this decision making I think is good. Grant Williams coming in there over someone like Faf, because Cobus Reinach, buzz of energy, can play the full 80 and will play the full 80 if you need to. So you've got Grant Williams there for your coverage of being able to go in at your scrum half, but also if you want him somewhere else, he can slot in that wing. You got an injury, you've got extra coverage. Vinny LaRue picks up an injury. You slide someone like Chesson Colvin back to full back. Chuck Grant Williams in at the wing as well. I think there's a good mix there. I think that's a really solid looking team. Expectations for this game. I personally just really want to see Australia really step up to this game. I think South Africa go in as big favourites for this one. They've got a really solid team. They really know what they're doing now. Australia are still going to be finding their feet a bit. I'm really hoping this isn't a game where it ends up being a blowout score. I think Australia might be annoyed with how many points they still conceded against Wales and Georgia. I'm expecting them to be conceding points in this game, but I really, really hope we get to see an Australian team step up for me. Score prediction-wise, I'm still leaning towards South Africa for this one. I think I'm going to go kind of heavy for South Africa. I think they could maybe look to really put some dominance on this team, because I think it was a nice warm-up for Australia with the games they had in the summer. I think this could be a different level. I'm going to say South Africa to take this one. I'm going to go out by 16. I'm going to go a little bit far, just over 2 scores is where I think I'm going to call this one. But I'm hoping it is going to be close. They are playing home in Australia as well. Always a chance they could have a big impact into this game. Moving on then to game 2. All Blacks versus Argentina. Another fun game to look for. I really enjoyed the Rugby Championship. Go back about 3 years, I had no idea what this tournament was. And now it's something I genuinely really, really look forward to. This is going to be brutal, is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping just to see two teams just try and smash each other as hard as they can. Two aggressive teams, but Argentina, playing against France, they didn't have the best sort of games. Uruguay, they showed what they can do when you just let them take control of a game. New Zealand are in that similar vein to it, where I feel like against their games against England, I think slightly underperforming from where I was expecting them to be against England. But I think it's one of those things, again, if you let New Zealand take charge of a game, they just run away with it and they just do stuff. England really kind of kept them in check for large portions of their games. And I think that impacts the New Zealand play. So I think whoever takes that early just dominance over the game, says this is our game to play, the other team will begin to feel real impact into this one. But starting out in the front row, Ethan de Groot goes back in alongside of Cody Taylor and Tyrell Lomax, which is a solid front row. The scrummaging will be something to look at. Argentina struggled against the French scrum, which was full of 20-year-olds, and I was really surprised by it. But then you see them go up against Uruguay, a formidable Uruguay team, and Argentina just ran them through over and over and over again. Argentina will be up for a big game in terms of the scrummaging, so these will be the lads to be paying attention to as well. They're going to be able to hold up in that department. Lock department, Tupou Vaa'i goes in alongside Sam Darry. Now, lock department's an area I think it's maybe a slight bit of concern for New Zealand. They've lost Sam Whitelock, Brody Retallick now. No Scott Barrett in this team either. I haven't actually given that name a Google to see if there's some reason I'm missing that one out. So Tupou Vaa'i going in alongside Sam Darry might be somewhere that Argentina think they could try and punish, missing out some really top-tier capped players in that lock department. Maybe just take a bit of a platform away from them to launch their own attacks. Argentina could try and be a bit of a nuisance there. In your back row, Ethan Blackadder goes in alongside of Dalton Papali'i and Ardie Savea, who's going in as captain in this number 8 shirt. That's a really good back row. I still don't know what's happened to Frizzell. I just had to go grab a quick look because genuinely I don't know why his name is not. So he moved over to Japan. He was over with the Toshiba Brave Lupus team, and he went over there. He's also gone with Richie Mwanga. So it might be that just that's not allowing him back in the team. Ethan Blackadder's still, a really good player to have in there in the number 6 shirt. Shannon Frizzell, though, was just landing that flanker shirt for me, and I was really annoyed to not be seeing his name in there more. But I still think that's a solid back row. Any back row when you've got Ardi Sarver and there's a solid back row, right? You can single-handedly take on a game for you. In the hardback combination, TJ Piranara comes back in alongside Damien McKenzie. I'm glad to see TJ's name back in there. I thought he was going to have a really severe injury and be out for a long time. I was really worried about him in a game where he was also just playing fantastically. The scrum half position is an area that took some big hits over the course of the summer tour as well. So nice to see him back in. Go alongside Damien McKenzie, who, again, a couple of people have been off and on about. Kicking, not where I expected it to be from someone I expect to have really high percentage kicking. I kind of prefer Damien McKenzie at 15 personally. I like when he has more time on the ball to decide what he wants to do. I love his counter running, and I love the way that he's able to just sort of jink around players and find the space and pick the pass. I've always typically preferred him at 15 compared to 10. It seems to be the direction he's moved in now, where they're just really focusing him on being in that number 10 shirt. Geordie Barrett and Bowden Barrett can also play 10. Maybe they could look at someone else doing 10. I don't know. Maybe that's me going too far. I might like to see Bowden Barrett go back to 10 and Damien McKenzie at 15 for me, and give him some time up there. But, hey, I'm not a coach for New Zealand. What do I know? In the centre partnership, Geordie Barrett goes in alongside Anton Linnett-Brown. Rico Ioane has been moved to the bench, but Anton Linnett-Brown has made some big impacts over the course of the summer as well. And then in the back three, Mark Talea goes in alongside of Sever Reese and Bowden Barrett. Filling out in that 15 shirt, who is another one of those players, like we mentioned with Lacania Am earlier on, one of those players for me that just has that little extra spark. It was game 2 versus England for them, right, where honestly I thought New Zealand were on the path to end up losing that game. Bowden Barrett came on from the bench and I think single-handedly took over that game and really just held that one out for New Zealand. I think Bowden Barrett's a superb player, so glad to see he's still in there. Just for me, I might like to see Damien McKenzie have a bit of shot at 15, even if it's later into the game. If someone else went in at 10 and moving back to 15, let him do some counter running. Let McKenzie do what he can do in the open field. In terms of the bench, then, or as they've called it, impact. I like that. When they're no longer the bench, they're no longer your reserves. They are the impact team. I like that. That's a cool thing. Keep that going. I like more interesting things coming out in rugby like that. We have Armour, Turuangafasi, and Fletcher Newell coming in there. There's still some big names in there for New Zealand. I think the front row for New Zealand is one of the areas where probably my own level of knowledge is not as expansive for some of the other teams. But Armour and Turuangafasi are certainly two people that I rate pretty highly. Fletcher Newell has been one of those people that I've not been completely sold on, but I haven't seen a great deal of game time for me personally. So that'll be someone I might be keeping a bit of an eye out for this one. And then in the replacement forwards alongside them, Josh Lord and Wallace Satiti coming in there to finish them out. And then in the backs, Cortez Ratima, Rico Ioane, and Will Jordan coming back into the team. Now that's a big set of backs. You want impact. That is impact. Late game. I think those backs could be really looking to open up. Ratima is another one who had his injury in the summer tour, and a game I thought he was playing really well in as well. I was like, I just don't want to see people going out from these sorts of injuries. But having him, Rico Ioane, and Will Jordan coming on later on, that's a big task to be able to handle all three of them. Very, very fast players. All will be very, very happy to get over the whitewash. It wouldn't surprise me if we see New Zealand really try and buckle down with the forwards to start out this game. And as it goes on, to start expanding wider, maybe when Argentina are getting a little bit more tired. And you'll be able to see people like Will Jordan getting over the line. Moving on then to Argentina, who they're going to be going up against too. Like I said, they played France. Wasn't blown away by France, played Uruguay, exactly what I expected from them. In fact, they did better than I expected from them. I don't think I had their score prediction to be super high. That France team, for some reason, really got to them. There were huge chunks of Argentina's game where just nothing was going right. And I don't know what that is. That is something affecting the Argentina team and has been for a little while. If you cast your minds back to the World Cup pool stages versus England, that was another game for me where Argentina just for some reason just disconnect and nothing works for them. They're one of the few teams in international where I just see that, where it just falls apart and the other team sort of just runs on top of them. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen against New Zealand, who will run away with the game if you let that happen. Again, another game to cast your mind back to Italy, New Zealand. People had high hopes for Italy in that one. I was much less hopeful for Italy in that one, but New Zealand took it, ran it by whatever it was, 90 points. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. But they will be a team that will look to dominate. So Argentina really need to buckle down and really try and shut down New Zealand from scoring early points. And mistakes, penalties, discipline is something that was affecting the games versus France. Can't do that against New Zealand. They will just punish you for it. So in this front row, Thomas Gaggio going alongside of Ruiz and Bejo. We've got Molina and Rubiolo as their lock department. Pablo Matera, Marcus Kramer, and Juan Martin Gonzalez coming back in the number 8 shirt. Now, Oviedo was doing really well for them. Playing in the back row. I'm very glad to be seeing Gonzalez back in, though. I think he is a phenomenal player. Playing over in Argentina. Nice to see his name back in that number 8 shirt. All three of these lads, actually, Kramer, Matera, and Gonzalez, all massive ball carriers. Gonzalez, for me personally, is just on a bit of a different level, though. In terms of your halfback partnership, Bertrand going in alongside of Santiago Carreras. Santiago Carreras is such an interesting fly half for me that I don't think I've been 100% sold on. I think missing someone like Sanchez, who feels like such a natural 10 to me. Santiago Carreras is so much more like it almost feels, I don't know how to describe it. It's like he's like a centre playing 10. It's like he's always looking to go himself. He's always trying to make his own room. He's always on someone else's shoulder. And when he's just in the 10, he just seems to distribute the pass out. And it doesn't seem to be leading up to anything. I might even say that they could look to somebody at a different 10 for Argentina for me, but he gets over for scores, he gets over for tries, he did against Uruguay as well, so it works for them. I might like if they go down another route maybe and have a look at someone else's alongside of Carreras to take that 10 shirt. In the centre partnership, Choco Perez goes in alongside of Lucio Cinti, which is a nice centre partnership. Choco Perez is another one, if you want a big ball carrier. Choco Perez carries hard as well to the line for number 12. And then in the back three, Mateo Carreras goes in alongside of Mateus Moroni and Juan Cruz Malia going in that fullback shirt for them. And then quickly in terms of the finishers, we've got another word. We've got another word for the bench in this one as well. Argentina go for the finishers to seal out the game. Augustin Crevi goes in alongside of Vivas and Sclavi going in there. That's a decent little replacement for row as well. Again, scrummaging might be an area that Argentina really think they might have a shot at trying to disrupt New Zealand a bit. If they can dominate the scrummaging area, that could be a real blow and try and maybe generate penalties that way. That's a decent little replacement front row for them as well. Rest of the replacement forwards as well. Elias, Lavanini, and Oviedo going in there as well. They've gone for the 6-2. Again, it's suggesting to me they want to stick within the forwards themselves. I think New Zealand might have called this one right by having that impact bench with the backs. I can see this game being 50 minutes, 55 minutes of forwards battling it out, everyone bunching up, and then you let Will Jordan, Rico Ioane come on from the bench and just start scoring tries later into the game. If you're paying attention to the fantasy, you've got your super subs or whatever, someone to look at, maybe going on later into that game. The replacement backs for them then, we've got Baza and Velez and Thomas Albornoz coming on there as well for Argentina. Expectations from this game, I'm expecting New Zealand to win this one. I think score prediction for me is certainly going to go towards New Zealand for this one. New Zealand, I think, just want to have a bit more synergy. There were certainly a couple of things going up against England where you just felt slight disconnects and you needed those more veteran players to step in. You want to see some of the lower cap lads really beginning to gel now and organise themselves. Argentina is going to be disciplined for me. Hold it together. Even if you're conceding points, it's New Zealand. You're always going to concede points versus New Zealand. It's just about being able to keep those emotions at a tolerable level and not give away easy penalties that give away easy threes or easy territory, because New Zealand will just compound punish you for it. So I really want to see Argentina keep hold of their discipline and maybe really target that set piece area. I think we got to see it against Uruguay. They can look dominant. I don't think that New Zealand front row is going to be quite as monstrous as we got to see with some of the French boys who were massive. You got Tuilagi, in that number 5 ship there as well. They had heavy units. France are really loading up on a massive weight scrum. whereas I think they might have a better shot against the New Zealand scrum. So the set piece area for New Zealand to maybe take on could be fun, and I just hope we get to see the New Zealand backs have some fun with it at the end of the game, have some open running rugby. For me, score prediction, New Zealand still for me. I actually think a bit as well. I think I'm going to say New Zealand 20. I'm going to go big. I'm going to go big for the opening weekend, guys. What could possibly go wrong? I'm brilliant at picking predictions. I hardly ever get any wrong. Yeah. So, let's go big. Why not? We'll say New Zealand by 20 for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Which game are you looking forward to the most? Who are you rooting for? Let your own score predictions. Drop it down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this one today, remember to hit the old like button, subscribe to the channel, and like I said, get involved with the Super Brew. You have like 2 days now to sign up and join in with the leagues and stuff. Get your predictions in. I'm gonna have some time tonight and sit down and think about my fantasy team now that we have the squads together, and we'll be going over those results on Monday's video as well. Hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.